that you also take into account having a designated beneficiary.
We often don't want to talk about this topic, but we should. So here to share some insights is our great friend of the show, financial expert JB Bryan is here. Always good to see you. We always learn. Let the learning begin.
And it's amazing that I have been in financial services for over 30 years, and I'm only 35. Child prodigy, you know. So exactly. I got to stop saying that. I really have to stop saying that. and that I've never discussed this topic, so this is really important because
the fact that you've been in 30 years, like, maybe I should start thinking about this.
Because we really think this, right? That is so true. You start doing legacy planning and really thinking about it because we take it for granted. And there are many people who have accounts and they're beneficiaries, and they never update their beneficiary. They get a divorce, they remarry, they still have the old beneficiary. Like, you have no idea how Virginia this morning is saving so many families. Like, this topic is vital.
I think as an expert, sometimes you move right on to that next thing, right? And you hopscotch over this. Let's not even
the basics.
Let's not even hopscotch over what a beneficiary and being designated is. How does this work?
Thank you. The beneficiary is the person that you would like to inherit this particular asset or this particular money that you have in the account. So that is the person or even the entity that you would like to have to receive this particular asset.
Or whatever.
And then that's a non-designated beneficiary.
There are different types of beneficiary.
Thank you. Yeah, so if it's not actually a person, then we would have to call it a non-designated beneficiary, but it's actually still designated. It still has to be somewhere. That's right. It still has to be written, but it's not actually a person, but you could give the asset. It has to be written, though, on the beneficiary form that it is a charity or a trust or to your estate, or it could be an actual person. So you have to put that down.
This is so critically important. I've been on this journey the last several years, and as I went through, I lost my mom at the end of 22. Now, I'm an only child, and so there are a lot of folks watching right now who may say, like, well, I'm in this circumstance, so naturally this asset will come to me. There are legalities that prevent that from happening, in that if you don't have this beneficiary designated, it's not as simple as a straight pass-through.
You're exactly right. And some people think that a will is all you need. But in reality, a will comes second to a beneficiary designation. And Bill is like shocked because
well, no, if you have your 401k or your investments or anything, they have beneficiary lines that have to be filled.
That's right.
There, and then the will is the follow-up to that.
The will does not supersede the beneficiary on the 401k. So you could say Jennifer receives all of this on the 401k, even if you put Michelle in the will for your 401k.
Oh,
Jennifer,
don't tell one of these.
That's right, exactly. And it's so sad because Michelle will think, I'm on the will. I'm going to get it. But the actual contract for the 401k is the boss. The beneficiary form on that contract supersedes everything.
So if you already have got all this set up, it's the best way to go, like, you've got your will. So now we make, we've got to make sure the beneficiary, to make sure everything matches up.
That's right.
So how do we doing that?
You have to be honest, because you may have where the family member does not know what's on other documents. You have one thing that's actual life insurance and one thing that's on the will that says the life insurance goes to this person. So you really you're dependent on the family member being honest and transparent. A lot of transparency is the key for this to actually work. You need to see the actual form from the life insurance company saying you're designated as the beneficiary on this. There's even forms now where you can transfer the deed in Virginia. Virginia can designate that this particular real estate property, upon my death, transfers to these people or this person. It's a state. So you don't have to wait for the probate process for even the real estate to take place.
JB, we hopefully dealing with folks who are up in age if we're talking about this whole process. Maybe they filled out a will 30 years ago, and somebody's on that will, and then they got a life insurance policy 15 years ago, and they do not match. And like you said, you're going to run into problems there. So you say be honest. I'm saying go back and review.
You better.
Yeah.
You bet.
Sure
You really better.
It's not a matter of honesty. It's a matter of like, what did I do in the 80s?
I would say there's billions of assets that are sitting there where people are the beneficiary and they have no idea because the copy of the beneficiary form was not provided to them. And I really hope that they will send me my money somewhere.
Yeah.
If they have us written as beneficiaries somewhere. But this really happens that I've had clients where they find out decades later that they were left as the beneficiary for an uncle or cousin or, even a parent that had a policy. It was turned over to the state because they found out that they were deceased, but they could not find that child. So it's just sitting there as a asset that they can't find that person. So when you put the beneficiary in there, you have to put additional identifiable information, their social, their birth date, when they get married, updated, as you said. It's old data. Now they're using a married name. You never put their Social Security number on there. You never put their birth date on there. So it's going to be hard, even if they do search California for lost assets, they see their name, it's really hard for them to prove it. So they'll have to prove that that's my father and that I am that child, and it's going to be harder and harder.
And this is something you can do. Designating a beneficiary is of no cost. It's not something that you go in and do and have to set up a will. Each of your asset accounts or assets usually have an opportunity to designate that beneficiary. So review it and let that person know.
And update regularly. Every year, I would say we should update the beneficiaries on our accounts when we do your account review with your financial advisor. Now we have online privileges. When you go online, look at your account, check your beneficiary. I have seen with employers, they switch custody, get rid of all. Even the federal government did this last year. They switched to their accounts. Not everybody, but the majority of people, they lost their beneficiaries. People passed away. The spouse was beneficiary. They had to go through, it was a headache.
Thank you, JB.
We always learn so much.
So, yes, keep it up.
JB Bryan offers free financial workshops and webinars each Wednesday evening and Sunday morning. Registration is required. For all the information, visit our show website. We'll have it up later today, virginiathismorning.com.